I've run Leadville now for the past 2 years. A lot of emotion come into the race just because of everything that the race kind of stood for. You know, when I had my my ankle surgery in 2014, I started running as part of my recovery, and then that kind of progressed into yoga, CrossFit, some other things. And as my ankle got stronger and stronger, some of the guys from my gym challenged me to sign up for this race. And they're like, don't worry, you won't get in. So I signed up for a 100-mile race, never having run anything over 10 miles. And so I didn't know what I was getting into. I have a great support crew here with 2 pacers this year, and I have 3 people on my crew. I got my wife, my mom, and my dad. And they're kind of like the core of everything successful that's going to happen. They can gauge me coming in, they can fuel me, they can feed me.
So an hour about, what am I eating, Mom?
Melon, chicken soup, and a sandwich.
Good job.
That's a lot. They do a lot before the race, they do a lot after the race. And without them, I wouldn't make it where I was. There's no way I would finish a race without them. I've kind of grown to love the race. A lot of people don't like it. I value everything that the race provides to the Leadville community, that it provides to people from all over the country. My favorite line has to be, you can do more than you think you can.
Okay,
All right.
speed finish line.
When you come out to this race, that guy's larger than life. I mean, he is really that character. He shows up in a cowboy hat, the big belt buckle, you know, and carrying that shotgun around to start the race, and he literally, you know, he is the essence of Leadville. Once you cross that finish line, you know, you're part of the family.
We're about ready to do this. This is going to be a fun ride.
Part of that race, you're out there, and mile after mile's clicking by, you know, you're reevaluating yourself, you're determining where you can go next, and you really, truly find who you are.
I appreciate everyone coming out early this morning.
The start line's exciting. You're standing there at the start line, your nerves are on end, you know, your hair's standing up, you know, and they start playing the AC/DC music and everything just starts rocking right there. You know, you feel like you're in a concert. And then all of a sudden the shotgun sounds and the truck takes off and you're like, oh crap, here we go.
3, 2, 1.
once you get past Outward Bound and the sun's up, you realize that you really are 10,000 feet closer to the sun than people on the flatland, you know, the shores of Jersey or California. And you can feel the heat and you start to boil.
We're gonna go through the aid station to the other side over there. Hot. You better put some of the clothes on. Go through the thing. We're on the other side.
What? Hard.
Emotionally, going up Hope's Pass is always rough for me, and that's just how it is. You know, if you're not fueled properly, if you're not taking enough water in, by the time you start climbing, it's too late. Some of the things that motivate me, obviously, that help me get through tough spots. You know, I think about all the friends I lost in combat and stuff like that, and you know, there's a lot of them that are really close. Some are not as close, but they're still, you know, a motivating factor.
Hey! Good for you.
Yeah. You want a blanket?
Some hot stuff.
I need to wrap my Achilles. Something tight. Oh man, that knee hurts so bad. How are the dogs?
They're at the side.
Did you turn the heat on a little bit early?
Yeah, fake news. Off.
I don't need my hands to work.
My first year, literally, I was like bawling coming around May Queen. There was so much pain in my foot because I broke my foot, you know, that tears were just like coming out of my eyes. And I remember my pacer, a guy named Becky, yelling at me, "We need to run a little bit more, we need to run, we're not gonna make it, we're not gonna make it."
My motivation's high. Pretty excited to be out here. am so tired.
So kind of a race recap of everything that went on this weekend for the third Leadville 100 that I've run. Started off phenomenally. You know, beautiful weather, clear skies, until about mile 8 when I crashed. I was coming out of the bushes after going to the bathroom, and next thing I know, I plant my hands, jam a finger, jam a wrist, cut up my knee, and that kind of set the tone for the day. I had a good plan sticking with I had a good plan when I went into the race as far as like what times I wanted to meet, where I wanted to be, what I wanted to eat, and how I wanted to achieve certain goals. And I achieved most of that until probably my second fall. My second fall was on my hip, coming down power line. Have you ever seen power line? It's probably about 2,000 foot climb, and it's just some nasty power lines, and it's all rutted out roads and everything like that. And I just stepped sideways on a ledge and it slipped right away and landed on my hip. And so with the knee and the hip already hurt, I compensated other ways, and then probably about mile 50 or so, my Achilles was just like on fire. It was flaring up. But there was a lot of race before that, you know, so I was able to manage pain, and I was able to manage some other things along the way, and it was just an exciting experience. Some of the highlights, you know, going over Hope Pass, probably the hardest part of any race, compared to Western States or compared to some other great races. But when you have a 10-mile climb, 5 miles up and 5 miles down, and you got to turn around and do it again, you know, you're going to see some wild stuff. On my way up, I was wearing my Ink and Burn tank top, and I happened to forget my outer layer, and sure enough I saw some clouds rolling in when I was about 2 miles out, right as I was getting ready to cross this probably about 200-foot stream. It was freezing cold. I looked up, saw the clouds moving in, dark clouds, and I was like, this could be interesting. Yeah, well, after Hope Pass aid station, I started climbing to the top of Hope Pass, 12,600 feet, and that storm rolled in. And it didn't rain at first, you know, didn't sleet or anything. It snowed and hailed right on top of me. And then the wind came in, and the wind started picking up, and by that time I was on the top of the pass, and I was crossing it, and so I was going down the backside. And so you go from about a 60-degree temperature to about a 30-degree temperature in about half hour, and it really messes your body up. I was just trying to get down as fast as possible. So I had some really good times in that area, but I was cold. And then as soon as the sun came back out, you know, you go from cold to heat again, and the exposure stuff just kind of really takes a toll on your body. And if you're going to be out there for 30 hours like I was, 29 hours, 17 minutes, and 47 seconds, you know, anytime you can reduce the exposure to weather, you're going to increase your chance of success. But I wasn't able to do that because I forgot my jacket and I got caught on top of Hope's Pass. No fault of their own, it just happened to be where it was. God thought I needed to stay cool, I guess. From there, you know, this year they added 1.5 or 1.3 miles to the Winfield entrance. So mentally, you saw a lot of people braking early because of this. Before, you would come down Hope's Pass and you would shoot straight to the road, and then you would run the road into Winfield. This year, instead of coming straight down, you took a right and you kept running along the ridge line or along one of the mountain walls, and then you ran around the back of Winfield and you came in. So imagine the excitement you have trying to get to an aid station after climbing 2,000 plus feet, enduring the storm, and then having to watch the aid station below you happily celebrate every runner coming in, and you're running past it. It didn't bother me personally because I knew about the plan before the race, but there were a lot of people that it broke. You know, what happens when you get tired? Coming down the backside of Powerline late in the night when it was freezing out, it was probably about 30 degrees, you know, I was in a drone state. Just didn't know where I was, didn't know what's going on. You see different shadows, things of different animals crossing the road, and you know, you're not watching your foot placement. Next thing you know, you kind of roll an ankle or anything like that. So you really have to manage that too. And you just have to take in as much caffeine, calories as you can, try and stay awake. And for me, I had a great pacer. I had two great pacers that really helped me get through this. You have to really be realistic in your expectations. And for me, you know, I didn't care about breaking my time from last time. What I cared about was finishing with my family and friends all around me, and then getting that belt buckle. So I got my third belt buckle. You know, I'm on my way for 10. You can follow me along a journey, I guess, but if you're ever in the Leadville area and you want to run the 100-mile race, I highly encourage you to do it.